And we're live.
What up, world? Okay, so I ran across this video. I know it was a couple years ago. It's not brand new. So I don't want to give, I don't want to be too harsh on this, but it says all white people are, and it's by Kristen Leo. So I was like, okay, let me click on this, and I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but I knew I had to react to it because this right here is just something else. So let's go ahead and get into it. So let's see what she says. Here we go.
So in light of everything that's happening in the US, I want to talk about it. I want to talk about racism. I want to talk about white supremacy. I feel like it's something that has always been a part of the videos that I've made when it comes to brands and corporations and the way that they operate, which is oftentimes very racist. And I want to expand this conversation into more things that us white people can do in order to be better allies, but in order to also not perpetuate the racism that is currently happening globally. This is not just an American issue. So yeah, let's just get into it. So I know this title is very inflammatory, and that's the purpose of it. Its purpose is to make you feel uncomfortable. If you are a white person and you feel attacked when you are told that you are a racist, then that is something that you personally need to explore more into why that makes you feel uncomfortable. But ultimately, it is a fact that racism is rampant, discrimination is rampant.
We have all participated. Okay. It seems like there's a lot of editing going on in this video right now because it just off of this little minute and 12 seconds, there's so many clips. She's just kind of doing this because there's so much editing going on. Let's see what happens. Let's see what she's talking about.
In white supremacy, we have all benefited from it, and most of us have really done nothing to minimize our own privileges in order to elevate the privileges of those that barely have any. So I think it's important for all of us at this time to get educated about racism, about white supremacy, about white privilege, and the political and social impacts and economical impacts that all of this has on marginalized people, people of color. And I'm gonna get into why this is so important, because my first reaction when this whole movement happened in the United States was basically, why are so many people asking us to?
I think it's strange to call an entire state damn near burning to the ground a movement, but okay, I'm going to see what she's talking about here. She might not even be talking about that, but I don't think this whole movement was as wonderful as everybody seems to think it is, but okay.
Talk about it here in Europe. Here comes America again demanding our attention because no attention is ever enough. Those were honestly my feelings in the beginning, but this is so much more than only an American problem. This is something that is affecting people globally, and it also ties in with so many other problems that are things that I talk about, like sustainability, workers' rights, and human rights in general. I feel like a lot of white people that don't reside in the US or in countries that have been colonized or stolen don't feel like this is as much of an issue.
So for one, every country on the planet has been colonized by somebody. It's not just white people, but go on.
In reality, here in Europe, obviously racism exists. Another thing is that even though police brutality is definitely not as terrible as it is in the United States, it still very much happens here in Europe as well. And I'm definitely thinking about making a video.
So she's in Europe. She doesn't live in the United States, but she's telling us how horrible we are and how white supremacy is running rampant in the United States, though she doesn't live here? Huh. Maybe I should tell you how horrible Europe is, even though I don't live there. That seems kind of, where the fuck do these people come from? The internet ain't for everybody, obviously.
Where I exclusively talk about police brutality and also the military, so I'm not really going to dive into that topic in today's video. One question that I was asked was, why should we, here in Greece, for example, care about just this random black man that was executed by a cop in the United States. I am white, and wherever I go in the world, I'm still gonna be white. So the fact that I am not a white supremacist, the fact that I am not a cop that kills black people is only something that has...
What the fuck does this lady think the United States is? Do you think just cops just walk up to black people and execute them in Times Square? Is that what you think this is? This has to be by far the dumbest ideology I've heard yet. You don't even live here, but you're going to tell us how cops act here. Stop watching the news and come down here and see interactions before you just start jumping to conclusions. This is... Oh my God, another one.
Been afforded to me through being born in a predominantly white country. If I either moved to America, if my parents never moved to Greece and I was born there and raised there, how can I be sure that I would not be one of them? How can I be sure?
What? What? How can you make sure you don't become one of them? I didn't. Guess what? Born and raised right here. United States of America. Not a white supremacist. So if I could do it, you could do it too. You fucking idiots.
That I would not be the one with my knee on a black person's neck. The fact that I am not American does not mean that I have not been afforded more privileges globally that I can exploit than black people have or other people of color. This is...
I gotta know. Because it's been bothering me for a while. What's the privilege? What is it? If I was born without money, but I have white skin, am I somehow more privileged than someone who was born with money, but has black skin? I don't think so. Now, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Let me know. Let me know if I'm wrong. Because please, by all means, I love to hear people's comments on stuff like this, and I definitely want to know more. Where's the proof? Just show the proof. That's what I want to know. I don't buy into this shit. This is, I don't know, whatever.
It's about the uniform that we all wear, and some people are just given a uniform that allows them to have way more privileges than other people have. And to those that are not afforded white privilege, this is a uniform that they cannot take off. They are forced to experience this lack of privilege. They are forced to experience police brutality. They are forced to experience racism. It's not a choice. The other reason why these protests that are happening in the United States are very important for all of us globally is because the United States, because of the power that it has, because of the wealth that it has and the influence that it has globally, they have been the ones that really have pioneered a lot of social justice movements. And they are a country that everyone is always observing, that everyone is always paying attention to. And this is why they are the ones that are really the most capable to start a revolution against the violation of human rights, against racism, even against capitalism, which ties in very closely with...
First of all, what's wrong with capitalism? Capitalism has literally paved the way to the world we live in now. Socialism didn't do that. So I'm so confused as to where we get this idea that capitalism is so bad. Where's the proof? You have no proof on what socialism has done at all, unless you look at, places like Chaz where they took over a block and did nothing with it. Or if you look at some of the places around the world that have communism and they're forced into labor and they're forced to go to work until they, decide to jump off a fucking building. So why is capitalism so bad? You have an opportunity most people don't, and in a lot of other in these countries. I don't get what you're talking about. Capitalism is the proof is in the pudding. So where's the proof for socialism? Because socialism is just basically forcing people to work for free, just to give away all the stuff that they have. Everybody's equal, and that's not how life works. This seems to me like you're trying to push an agenda more so than bring the proof. Where's the proof? Where's the proof that socialism is better than capitalism? Let me know. Where's it at? I want to see it. Where's the proof?
white supremacy and with racism. This is the time to support the Americans that are intelligent and educated enough to stand up against their own system of white supremacy, of global.
So let me pause this real quick again. Obviously she's talking about the issue with the cop leaning on the neck of was it George Floyd, right? That was the that's who, yeah. So if we're talking about that, I was just as outraged as everybody else was, because that wasn't a racial issue. That was a cop versus the people issue. It had nothing to do with race, because I know a lot of Republicans that were like, that guy needs to go to jail. That's messed up. But when you have Black Lives Matter burning down fucking buildings and causing all these riots and looting and stuff, you don't get to say that this is your issue and this is a movement. That's not a movement. That's vandalism. That's arson. Those are crimes. And as long as you continue to do these crimes, we can't sit here and root on your side. Not to mention raise all that money just to pocket it and do nothing for the people that you're supposedly standing up for. But okay, yeah, we'll keep going. I'm sorry, my white privilege is taking over.
Oppression that the USA has partaken in. And I think it's very important for all of us to support that and to stand in unity with that, because everyone globally benefits from a less violent America, from a less racist America, from a less patriarchal and white supremacist and fascist America. The United States has consistently, from the moment that it was stolen from Native Americans, been a very violent country, a very imperialist country that has created a lot of political instability globally. It's been a country...
That's funny coming from Europe. Not gonna lie, you want to sit here and talk about how, Europeans moved over here and colonized America and pushed out the Indians. Fine, we can have that conversation because that was pretty recent. But do you want to talk about the Dark Ages? Do you want to talk about what you did with every place surrounding Europe? How many times you've colonized those places? Do we want to talk about those too? This just seems really like an attack on America more so than anything else. Yes, what happened in the past was fucked up, but it's the past. If we can't keep moving forward, if we have to keep having these conversations about white supremacy and all this left-wing ideological nonsense, because there's no proof in it. There's zero proof in this. Now, yes, there have been institutions that have treated black people different than white people. When you look at the banks, like that's a good example. Banks were actually giving higher interest rates to black people than white people, even though they were about the same when it comes to what's the word I'm looking for? I guess when you want to say it comes to the risk factor amongst both sides. So yeah, there have been institutionalized instances, but it's not like a global conspiracy. Though you have to look at yes, a couple of places have done stuff like that, and we've addressed it as a nation. But my point to you, Kristen, you don't even live here. You have zero ties to the United States. Why are you trying to tell everybody that this is how it is when you've never even stepped foot on this land, as far as I can tell? To me, this is a long reach. This is a really long reach. And I don't think you know what the fuck you're talking about, honestly.
That has funded literal terrorist groups that have caused havoc in Europe, that have created millions of war refugees. So this is not an issue that we should be taking lightly. I think this is a moment for all of us to start speaking out, for all of us to start supporting the Americans that are revolting against this very fascist...
Revolting? Revolting against what? Revolting against what? Because when you look at what America is a growing process. It's not like Europe. Okay, Europe is set in stone, has been for a while. America is ever changing. We're always trying to make sure that all men are created equally. We're trying to make sure that the Bill of Rights and our Constitution is upheld by any means. And that's what we're here for. That's why we have it. But you don't have to come over here and tell me that this right here is just some This is some crazy, brand new thing that we're doing. Come on, bro. This to me just seems, this is stupid. This is stupid. What did she say? What was it that she was talking about? Hold on.
So this is not an issue that we should be taking lightly. I think this is a moment for all of us to start speaking.
But no one took it lightly. And not to mention the guy's in prison. So what more do you want? What, you want to hang him? Is that what y'all's thing, right? Hanging people in public? Is that what you want to do?
Out for all of us to start supporting the Americans that are revolting against this very fascist government. And I also think that us on social media have a duty at this time to stand in solidarity, to speak up, and to also not colonize this movement, but to instead amplify Black voices and to support the people that are really leading this movement and to not try and make it about us. Because that's something that all of us really have a difficulty understanding.
The problem with that ideology is it is about us because we are Americans. We are the ones that are dealing with this whole issue. It's us. We're the voters. We're the ones that are going to make sure that we continue to do what we do and we do it properly. But as long as you keep race baiting, we're never going to get anywhere. Because it seems to me like the left is the one that really wants to separate the people more so than the right does. Because last time I checked, Kavanaugh went to prison. Okay, so if it was a racist issue, he would have been set free. I could be outraged about Trayvon Martin, because I was, and I still am. But what happened to Kavanaugh, he deserved every bit of it. He should have went to prison. If you ask me, he should have got the death penalty for leaning on someone's neck for that long. That was the whole thing. But because we were outraged, it doesn't give the left the right to go out there and burn down an entire fucking state. It doesn't give you the right to riot and loot and sit there and say that it's a protest. Beat people in the streets. Come on, man. There comes a point in time where you have to grow up and handle things like adults. And if you're not going to do that, then maybe you don't belong here.
Standing and doing. So I'm going to get a little bit more into the thoughts that I've had about everything that's been happening since
share your thoughts.
Monday. I've literally just had my face glued on Instagram and on TikTok, which for me have been the
social media. Face glued on social media. It's glued on the news, but you're not here. Why are you talking about issues when you're not here? You're not living here. What was your purpose? What is your point? Because you saw a couple things on TikTok, you saw a couple things on Instagram. I think at the time, I don't even think TikTok was a thing, but you saw a couple things on the news, and now you just jumped to the left side and decided to make a whole YouTube video about it, 20 minutes long, of you talking about white supremacy and all the shit that you absolutely know nothing about. And it's not even backed by fact, it's just backed by your opinion.
Best sources of information, because the news are really doing a fantastic job at just either complaining about the vandalism or the riots or showing footage of
complaining about vandalism, but complaining about riots. Damn it. We're just complainers. That the fact that these people are marching in the streets, beating people half to death and burning down buildings, we don't have the right to complain about it. There's one thing if you're going to protest. You have the right to assemble in this country. It's another thing if you're going to burn down, root, and riot. Then it becomes an issue because now you're breaking the law. You don't have the right to break the law just because your feelings are hurt or you feel a certain way about a certain situation. So yeah, we have the right to complain about it. Oh, the news is doing a fantastic job of what? Covering it? The one thing that y'all don't want people to do. This is why I stay in the middle. This is why I don't lean left, and this is why I don't read right. Because at the same time, man, you people are fucking nuts. I don't lean either way. This is craziness.
Cops being allies or just really touching the bare surface of this movement and the reason why all of this is happening, and not diving deep into the structural problems in America that are causing all of this to happen. A few of the complaints that I've seen a lot of people make about this movement is that they are destroying private property, which again, it's putting value on property instead of focusing on the value of human lives. Another thing is I found a ton of Black activists on Instagram. They have a really insightful understanding of what is happening and what needs to be done to fix it. And a lot of them are speaking about how there is an interconnection between capitalism and white supremacy and racism. It's really hard to actually put value on human lives.
Quick question. Black people who own businesses, are they white supremacists? Because if we lived in a really racist country, as what the left likes to think that we do, then how can black people own anything? Just answer me that. I'm just curious. Jay-Z and Beyonce, they're billionaires. Oprah's a billionaire. Black people. I'm white. I'm not a billionaire. Where's the supremacy? Where's the privilege? That's my point. I think that the way y'all are going about this is it's not the right message. Your heart's in the right place, but your facts ain't all there. And you don't even live here. That's my point. You're whatever, man.
A system like capitalism that values profit over people. This essentially means that in a world...
I've talked about that before, and I agree. It is profit over people, and that's wrong. And that's the one thing I don't agree with capitalism. I also don't agree that the government should be taxing as high as they are, especially for us, because we're workers. But then the rich, they don't have to pay taxes at all because they know all the loopholes. They know all the games. And, of course, they're buying all the politicians. So I can agree with that. But, again, you don't live here.
World where money is valued, the rich are valued, the poor are considered lesser than, and the people that tend to be poorer are the people that have suffered from colonialism, from slavery, from white supremacy. So the people that have less money are pretty much always people of...
The people who are poorer have been suffering from colonialism, racism, and a couple of other isms. But the thing is there are poor white people in this country. How is that a part of the racism that you're talking about? Is that a part of the colonialism? Is that it? I don't understand your point or what you're trying to say here. What you're saying isn't backed by any facts at all. None. Why am I doing this?
Color. So that is a very interesting point that was made. One thing that really bothered me was the whole hashtag Blackout Tuesday thing on Instagram, where a lot of people just posted a black box and a little hashtag and just went on with their regular posting. Just in and of itself, I don't really agree with the whole turning movements about human rights into content, into a meme. It's essentially just turning something into an Instagram trend where you just post a black box and you're like hashtag Black Lives Matter and hashtag Blackout Tuesday, and just have no idea what that means. You have no idea what you should actually be doing after you...
Well, to be fair, I don't think you know anything at this point. I don't think you know shit about what's really going on here. I think that what you're saying is a bunch of left-wing radical ideas and pretty much just bullshit. What, because somebody posted a black box? That's all, man. Y'all get triggered by everything, boy. There's nothing that can stop you motherfuckers from getting mad.
Post that box. Personally, I didn't do it because I thought it was pointless. What I've been doing is I haven't been posting anything on my feed. I don't want to take up any space. I want to allow the black activists to be able to have that news feed on Instagram available to them without me taking up any space in there. I've just been posting on my stories. I was incredibly disappointed with some people that I know personally that literally use this as an excuse to get more likes, that were literally asking...
Like every single person that was on Instagram and YouTube, like you're saying now, did? Like you're doing now? Okay.
Their audience to go and like their hashtag Blackout Tuesday post in which they did not discuss anything about racism in that post. It's just the generic white person description box where it's just like, where racism is so bad. Oh my God, I can't believe that so many people are racist. This is terrible. Hashtag Blackout Tuesday. Make sure to like and follow because I'm not a racist. It really was just a trend for a lot of people. They posted a black box and then they went and continued on.
So here you have a white lady, young, who lives in Europe, who is doing the exact same thing that she finds offensive. Can't make this shit up, man. Oh my God.
With a regular posting for that day without even doing the minimum amount of work that was required through participating in posting that black box, which is not posting anything for the day and sitting down and
she's mad
learning
because people
about
weren't
racism.
saying
These
enough about the
influencers
racism
have
that was
perpetually
supposedly
supported
going on.
brands that are what I can only describe as terrorists. I think if any brand is destroying the environment for indigenous populations, that is participating in labor exploitation of people of color, where they are not allowed to unionize, they are not allowed to...
People of color aren't allowed to unionize. People of whiteness aren't allowed to unionize. Unions are like a no-no in this country. It's something that I've talked about before. See, you would know that if you lived here, but since you don't, and you're just sitting, halfway across the fucking world on your YouTube talking shit about a place you know nothing about, I guess it's easy to see it that way.
Even have bathroom breaks in some occasions. They are working in unsafe buildings, have unsafe working conditions.
It's funny, I've never worked at a place I couldn't have a bathroom break at. Huh. I wonder what that's like. I guess I don't know. It's all my white privilege, I guess. Only white people are allowed bathroom breaks apparently now. Do I really gotta keep going with this? This is so stupid.
In general, their wages are incredibly low to an inhumane level.
Talked about that. We've talked about the wage gap. We've already addressed the rights of what people want, which is fair pay for the jobs they're doing. We've done that, but you don't know that because you don't live here. See, that's the problem. I think the problem is you're in Greece. Didn't Greece go bankrupt at one point? And come on, bro. What the fuck?
How can you be supporting these brands? How can you be taking this blood money that has been created through the exploitation of people of color, through the
same way you buy everything in China? I mean, that's how the world works. I know it's hard for you to understand, and yes, I wish there was a better way, but at this point, it's the same thing. If people buy the brands they want to buy, people are going to buy shit from China because it's cheaper to make it there. That's how it works. That's how capitalism works. China's going to have to be the one, the Chinese workers are going to have to be the one to step up and do something about it. We can't. But, whatever.
Destruction of the environment, and then just come on your social media and say racism is bad. If you can empathize with racism to a small degree, like, why are you even contributing to it continuing to exist? Why are you supporting the brands that are literally racist, that have had multiple racist scandals? Where is this cognitive dissonance coming from? Why are you unable to see the fact that you are...
But what brands is she talking about? Because she's just saying brands. She's not giving any specifics. She's not... she probably doesn't know. So there's that.
Part of the problem. And another thing that a lot of people have been pointing out is that you can't just not be racist, you have to be anti-racist. And that means basically refusing to profit off of brands and off of companies that build their wealth through racism, through labor exploitation.
Like which ones? She has given zero examples, zero proof, zero evidence. She's just talking. I'm trying to understand, but you're not giving me anything. You're just saying shit.
I'm not going to discuss any more of this because I want to make a specific separate video about influencers and about the fashion industry and racism within that
I would
field,
like to find that
because
video.
It's something that I have been in for the last 10 years of my life, and I feel like it's very important to discuss that. So yeah, what I want to do now is show you some things that I found on Instagram that I thought were noteworthy and kind of discuss them a little bit.
Okay.
So one post
mind
was
you,
by
this is 2 years
Africa
old,
Brooke. and it says being liked is not a priority right now. This is so important. I have some friends that have been very much speaking out about
being liked is not a priority right now. Well, to be fair, being liked shouldn't be a priority at all. Not everybody's going to like you. I know it's hard for you, for the left to understand that, but not everybody's going to like you. And not everybody's going to want to be your friend. Not everybody's going to be anti-racist, and not everybody is going to be racist. Not everybody is going to be a one set way. And they're not going to be the way you want it. And that's how life works. Grow up.
this, sharing a lot of content, a lot of educational content, amplifying Black voices, etc. And they've lost a lot of followers. I think it needs to be noted that if you do start speaking up about this, you are going to ruffle quite a few feathers. And a lot of people are going to disagree with you. A lot of people are going to unfollow you. But it's exactly what this post says. This is not the time for us to waste energy thinking about who likes us and who doesn't. It's about standing up to what's right. Do you want to be on the side of history that sides with oppression? Or do you want to be on the right side of history, really?
Well, that's the problem, because you never really know what side of history you're going to be on. And I started out with my whole political, ideology. I was with Black Lives Matter. I thought it was a great way to show that Black lives also mattered. I was there. I was that guy. I was like, yeah. But when you finally get to the end, when you see where it went with the whole Black Lives Matter and Antifa movement, I'm not with that shit. You went from something that I can agree with to damn near borderline terrorism in a matter of a couple years. So you don't know where you're going to end up on, when it comes to being on the right side of history. Why don't you just be a decent human fucking being and just keep it pushing? How hard is that?
YouTube channel that I've been watching for quite a while is called For Harriet. I highly recommend you subscribe. I'm going to link it in the description box below. Kimberly, that runs that channel, has been very vocal about the fact that Black female voices are kind of erased. I mean, obviously Black women have to not only deal with racism, but also the patriarchy. So
I want to read this real quick. So while I got y'all attention, y'all need to remember that misogyny, homophobia, transphobia, I don't know what that is. Ableism. Okay. Anti-fatness and whorephobia are all products of white supremacy, capitalism, and patriarchy. We got a lot of work to do. We ain't free until we all free. So, misogyny, homophobia, transphobia, ableism, anti-fatness, and whorephobia are all products of white supremacy. First of all, I didn't even know whorephobia was a thing. But okay. What? Anti-fatness? Okay. You know what? Just keep moving, because what's the point?
Not as much importance has been put on the female victims of police brutality. So yeah, that's definitely one thing that we do have to keep in mind. And also, For Harriet posted on her Instagram, if you are trying to have a conversation about white supremacy that is divorced from anti-capitalism, you're wasting your time. And the caption:
if you're trying to have a conversation about white supremacy that is divorced from anti-capitalism, you're wasting your time. I just don't understand how you think the two run hand in hand. I really don't understand your point on this. Oh, but it says right here, Harriet, burn it all down. Because that's what y'all like to do, right? That's your go-to move. Call it the Molotov left.
It says burn it all down. The Black women that have been speaking out during this time have inspired me as well to speak more against capitalism. I feel like I have tried my best to ease all of you into my anti-capitalist philosophy, but at this point, I'm not interested in slowly feeding some concepts to my audience. My content is going to be a lot more political because I have learned a lot during these last 5 years, and I don't think there's any point for me anymore to talk to my audience like they're kids. I feel like you're grown. I feel like you have the guts to take the truth, and whoever doesn't, to be kind of honest, I don't care. Like
the problem is you don't know how to take the truth. That's the problem with the left. You don't know how to understand and move forward. You don't know how to work with nobody. It's your way or the highway. And I think that's the major problem when it comes to this. When are you going to be able to take the truth? Because when the truth is presented by facts, you run away from it, hide, need a safe place, and a place to cry.
Me trying to exploit this platform in order to build an audience and exploit entertainment and fashion and aesthetics in order to build an audience on my channel, that time is over. Now it's time to really speak up. It's time to take part in this movement. It's time to stand in solidarity, especially for me, women of color, and to let them lead and to learn from them and to take everything that I learn and share it with you. So yeah, just be prepared. This is not gonna be a fun place anymore. I'm sorry, but I'm not.
By the way, the last time she posted was a year ago. I think I'm pretty much done with this. This is the thing. Look, I am all for equality. I think, in my opinion, everybody should have a level, even playing field. But I'm not gonna lean left on issues like this, because the thing is it seems the more the left talks, the more I start to see the racism in it. And I think a lot of people are waking up now and starting to understand that. Black people, white people alike, it doesn't matter. My point on this is we should all be using our platforms to build a better America, to have the conversations and to be able to move forward, right? We can't help what happened in the past. As much as we want to cry and burn shit down, it's not going to change anything. What we can do is implement policies and move forward in a better way to where we can all agree on something, where we can work with the left, work with the right, and get to a point where our country can continue to be better. I'm very progressive. I'm all about moving forward. But we can't move forward looking backwards. So come on, y'all have to be able to accept the facts. And facts are facts. They're not biased. This is, to me, just more rhetoric. That's really all it is. I mean, when you look at what's the difference between white supremacists and Antifa? Follow the facts, right? I think I'm done with this. By the way, she didn't post anything pretty much after this. She did, but it's all long ago. So I'm done with this. I'm out of here. You guys been great. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. I appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down on the bottom below. Also, if you're new, make sure you hit the notification bell so you're notified anytime new videos upload.
And also, don't forget to hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. And for exclusive content, we also have a website, which will be in the description below.
Yep.
All right.
All right, we're out of here.
Peace.